Are Snyder fans toxic? That's going to be today's interesting topic. Are they toxic? Are we toxic? Or is this all just a fake propaganda by Jody and Andy? Now, before I get into this video, let me say I'm a big Snyder fan. Biggest Snyder fan you'll ever meet. I love Batman vs. Superman. I think it's the greatest comic book film of all time. Man of Steel is amongst that list of greatest comic book films of all time to me personally. And even his non-DCU movies, I love them. Watchmen, 300, Dawn of the Dead, that one Owl movie whose name I do not simply know. Like, for some reason, I always forget that name. But regardless, if you are new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. It helps support my channel. You know, over here in this channel, we talk about movies, movie news, and everything in the wonderful world of movies. We do trailer reactions. We talk a lot about the Snyder Cut. We've been talking so much about the Snyder Cut in the last week that you might as well call me Isaac the Snyder geek, not Isaac the film geek. But regardless, if you're a big Snyder fan or if you're just a big movie fan, make sure you subscribe and turn on notification bells. That way you can be notified when I upload future content here on the channel. And make sure you smash the like button to help this video in the algorithm. It really helps boost my ego and helps me provide you guys with the best content possible. Anyways, with that being said, let's get into the video. So the whole topic of today is, are Snyder fans toxic? Now, I've made so many other previous videos in the past. One of them that got about 600 views was, there is no such thing as a Snyder cult. So I have talked about this in the past, but I feel like now with a little more details, I'm going to talk a little more about it. Now, I've called out Jody, called out Andy. If you want to go watch these videos, they're in my channel. So if you want to hear me call them out, make sure you just, watch those videos, whatever it is. Are Snyder fans toxic? Now, I'll admit this. Every fandom has a toxic part of the community. I'll admit that. Marvel fans have some toxic fans. Harry Potter fans have some toxic fans. Lord of the Rings, Godfather, Back to the Future, Star Wars. There's always going to be a small portion of fans that are toxic. Like Star Wars. Star Wars, half of the fans are divided. One half supports this one side, and the other half supports the other side. Every fan has some kind of division. And I'll admit, there are some Snyder Cut fans who, when I hear them and I look at them, I'm like, come on, guys. Time out. Let's not continue. However, there's this misinterpretation online where everyone's like, all Snyder fans are toxic. They do not accept it when somebody doesn't like their movies. And then you have idiots like Jody's Corner, who's always like, the Snyder. Wait, let me talk like Jody. I think he puts the camera in front of him and he's like, Snyder cult. Hashtag reject the Snyder cult. And then you have like Andy being like, I gotta pretend to be Andy right now. Wait, hold up. Yeah, these Snyder cult members have been sending me death threats. Okay, I did terrible. That was a terrible impression. I'm not even gonna lie. But he does always wear a hat, but that doesn't matter. These people constantly say the Snyder cut is toxic and cult-like, but that's not correct at all. Now, are there a few? Yeah, every fandom has a few bad apples. That's undeniable. But my problem is, this comes from people who constantly attack every single channel. Or they constantly attack every single fan. So when they get criticism, they're so surprised about it. Jody is the prime example. You constantly say, Zack Snyder's films are terrible and these Snyder fans are all idiots. Because let's admit it, Jody, I understand your side, but at the end of the day, you constantly bash Snyder fans. And it's like, if you don't want to be bashed, if you don't want criticism from them, then do not constantly attack them. Now, it's fine. Let's say you want to make a video and say, hey, look, me personally, I did not like BVS, Man of Steel, all that. That's completely cool. That's cool, because I've always said, all film is subjective. Each and every fan likes each certain different kind of film. If you're a fan of Lord of the Rings, cool. If you're a fan of The Godfather, cool. If you're a fan of Back to the Future, cool. If you're a fan of Shawshank Redemption, cool. Because at the end of the day, that's the wonderful thing about being a movie fan. We can all agree, we can all disagree, we all have our own communities. But at the end of the day, together, we are an entire film fan community. That's what I love about this community, where we just talk and say what we agree and disagree, because at the end of the day, there's no such thing as an objectively good or bad film. They're always going to be subjective, regardless, because everyone feels different with each movie. Like, for example, I love BVS. I undeniably love BVS. BVS to me is the movie I talk about the most. Like, if you tell me right now to talk about BVS, I could go on hours and hours and hours and hours and hours without nonstop talking about each single little detail in BVS, saying why it's the greatest comic book film of all time. But I also have friends who aren't BVS fans. I have a lot of friends who, personally, to them, BVS didn't work. And I don't tell them, hey, you're wrong for not liking the movie. Because at the end of the day, it's all subjective. It's all completely subjective. Because regardless of what I want to say, regardless of what you want to say, these films are subjective, not objective. And so Jody constantly saying these Snyder cultists are toxic because they like a certain movie. That's where I cross the line. I don't mind if you say you don't like BVS and you're not looking forward to Snyder Cut. My problem is the minute you start calling fans toxic for liking a certain kind of film. And that's why I don't believe the Snyder Cut fans are toxic, because if you actually go to a group chat, go to something, see what Snyder Cut fans are like, you actually can see they're very respectful. They're very kind. I've talked to so many Snyder Cut fans, and some of them, yeah, they are toxic, but very few of them. I go on Twitter, I go on Reddit, I go on all these social media platforms to talk. I mean, in my channel, a lot of my comments are Snyder Cut fans, and that's actually something I love, because here I talk a lot about the Snyder Cut. And most of them are pretty nice and respectful. I mean, we've gained so much money for charity. We've done so much. I'm not saying we're perfect. What I'm saying is there's a few bad apples, like I said. But I feel like Jody looks at that tiny little 1% of fans and says, they're all toxic. They're all cultists. And that's why you're getting bashed. There's a channel recently called Organized Chaos who says, I always get constant backlash for me criticizing DC films. No, you're not. You're just getting comment sections saying, hey, look, we disagree. And it's like, I don't agree with you. We don't disagree. I mean, we disagree. I went on his channel to see, and I was like, hey, look, I don't agree with Organized Chaos, but I think people should feel free to comment down below and say, hey, look, I don't agree. I don't agree. It's like I saw a lot of comments on Organized Chaos's channel, because let's admit it, you don't like DC. You criticize Man of Steel, you criticize BVS, you criticize all these DCEU movies. And look, it's cool you have those opinions, but you got to accept the fact that not everyone's going to agree with you, and people are going to go in the comment sections and disagree. Like, for those people watching this video, those who disagree, I don't mind if you disagree. That's what I love about this channel, where we agree, disagree. For the people who have been here on the channel, there's some of my subscribers who disagree with a lot of things I say, but at the end of the day, the amazing thing about this channel is, we just talk about movies, whether we agree or disagree. And even if you disagree, I want you to comment down below and let me know your thoughts. If you disagree with me, make sure you do that, because that way I can understand where you're coming from, understand your opinion, and understand, I want you to have a voice in the community. And that's kind of my problem with Jody. It's like he doesn't accept hearing somebody else's point of view. He doesn't accept anyone else's opinion. Now, I know a lot of people also criticize Signor, but I got to give him respect when respect's due. The thing I like about Signor is that he's open to people's conversations. He's open to people's opinions. And for those people who are wondering who Signor is, I'm talking about Andy Signor, who runs the Popcorn Planet channel. I think he used to run Screen Junkies. I'm not sure if he still does, but he used to run Screen Junkies. What I respect about him is, he's open to people's opinions. I know I've made a video criticizing him, but, throughout the months and days, I've noticed, Andy is very respectful. It's Jody who I kind of put the criticism on, because he'll be like, the Snyder cult. Like, Andy, yeah, occasionally will make a Snyder Cut video where he criticizes the fans, but he rarely does it. Jody, on the other hand, he's like, the Snyder cult. And it's not even just with the Snyder Cut. I remember with WandaVision, he was criticizing people who supported WandaVision to a point where it's like he doesn't want people to have the different opinion from him. And that is toxic behavior. To me, it's not toxic if you like a movie or not. What I find toxic is when you start calling others toxic, or when you start saying, one community is wrong for liking a certain film. Like, for example, I hate the Star Wars prequels. Let me use that as an example. I love that original trilogy, but I do not stand those prequels. I do not like Phantom Menace. That's one of the worst movies I've seen. Attack of the Clones is a very bad movie, and Revenge of the Sith, it's the best one of the trilogy, but it's still a poor movie to me. but you don't constantly keep. I like something I've never done on the channel is backlash prequel fans, because at the end of the day, I like the fact that they like those movies. I wish I had the same reaction, but at the end of the day, I gotta accept. I gotta accept the facts that they like that movie, and I wish I did. But I'm not gonna call them toxic for liking it. I'm not gonna call them toxic for defending it. I'm not gonna call them anything like that. I'm gonna be like, hey, look. Even though I disagree with you, I am so glad that you like that movie. And that is the special thing about films. You know, how different we all are. And that's something Jody needs to accept. But, you know, it is what it is. But at the end of the day, Snyder fans are not toxic. And if you believe they are toxic, I'm sorry, you've only been listening to Jody or a few people who don't seem to actually know the broad. I mean, these people who call us toxic, they're probably the only interactions they have with Snyder Cut fans are probably in their comment sections when they call them toxic, and Snyder fans come back and attack them and say, hey, look, we are not toxic. You're an idiot if you believe we are toxic. That is the only thing they probably read. And anyways, that's going to be it for today's video. Yeah, before I head out, y'all make sure you subscribe, turn on the notification bells. If you want more content like this on the channel where I just really talk to you guys, the movie commentary channel, then make sure you subscribe. Comment down below your thoughts, questions, theories, and concerns about Snyder Cut. Do you think we were toxic? Do you think we're not toxic? Whatever it is, y'all drop them in the comments. Whether you agree or disagree with me, it's cool, because something that I've learned is I want to let people have a voice, and the comment sections are the people's voice. Something Jody won't accept, but I'll accept it for him. So y'all in the comment section below, voice your opinion, because that is the wonderful thing about being a film fan. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. Until next time, peace.